Okay, so my apologies, gang. I had to get that set up a little bit. So what I've got here, this is like a one shot because I wanted to in one video just do one thing and get it knocked out. That's the disadvantage of my videos. Is a lot of times I'm scrambling. I'm doing 30 different things. I might pour up a pig mask, paint a werewolf, and then work on some other monster stilt feet. And what's bad about that is it's not searchable and it's not long-term valuable. It is temporary entertainment and it keeps me from being alone in the shop. But stuff like this is valuable to the channel, and I'm not going to waste a ton of time. I'm already 45 seconds in. So just skip to the first minute if you want to get past all this crap. I do go on Facebook Live still, normally on Wednesday nights, and that is on Haunters Hangout, which is a Halloween channel. And my YouTube, I'm going to go live for sure every Tuesday and Thursday evening, and then all the time bonuses like this. But, all right, so this guy here, this is a very, very white werewolf. And I've seen a lot of fursuit people who will do a character this same way, where they make it white and then they airbrush it. And I knocked his ears down a little bit on this model. I've actually got 4 different werewolves in the shop right now with 4 different ears. This one's not my favorite. This ear layout here is my favorite. And I made patterns for that so I can get that on almost all of my next ones. But I was experimenting, as I am wont to do. Hate doing anything the same way every time if there's something that I can learn. So in my Paasche H airbrush, I have FW acrylics, gray. Payne's gray is the color that I have. And I'm going to clear off a little bit of space over here. And I'm going to bring my laptop over, because on my laptop, I have some wolf pictures. And I'm just going to set up a scroll of these wolf pictures. What do they call that? A slideshow, we'll call it. A slideshow of these wolf pictures. I have to remember that my ink is behind my computer. Don't anybody get the password, hide it. Manage slideshow. All right, so now I've got this slideshow going down here of common or good patterns for wolf heads. So that makes you a little more even. I'm going to slide you guys back to here. So even in painting, visual reference is kind of a big deal. I'm going to test a little bit with my airbrush. All right, and I don't really even know what this does, okay? Because this isn't something that I have done a ton of. This is for informational purposes. And at the end, I may say, here's the information, just buy the color fur that you want. I don't think that that will be the case, but certainly that's a possibility. I'm going to open up. I can tell it's going to be a little bit hard to do because it wants to blow around. I'm just establishing some gray here. Now, what these are going to match up with for me, these are going to match up with some real gray stuff. So I want to make sure that mine has a pretty gray feel to it mostly. It's not a white wolf with gray highlights. I need this to be a gray wolf. See some extra fur go flying there when the airbrush hit it. And what I'm fighting already is I want to spray the top of the hair basically, but the air blows the hair up. So that's got an automatic softening effect, and that's kind of cool. And I really like how I can control and just bring this down a little bit at a time to get this a nice general gray. Now I'm going a little crazy on the back of the head here. I'm not too worried about pattern because it's the back of a haunt costume. So I'm not, super crazy with Oh, it's got to be even and stuff. I know I want a dark stripe down the center, so I got to find my center. I'm going to work that in a little bit. Let's see how this does. How's that read? Okay. Yeah, that reads pretty nice, actually. So you can do things like, put in some control, which is really cool to see. I like that. I'm going to get that general gray that I was talking about. I'll probably go to the head here. Now I'm ready to go to the face. I wanted to practice a little bit on the back and go to the face after I had done a little. Now, obviously there's a lot more flesh on this because this is a werewolf, not a timber wolf. So there's going to be curve it down. Okay, there we go. All right, so that is set up and established, and that's kind of nice. It seems to come in. I'm looking at these pictures, and I hate backing you guys up from the action, but I do kind of want you guys to see that my references also, okay? Just look at my references. Hello, everybody. Very good to see everybody. And again, I am airbrushing here. I'm trying to find a good flow rate for my airbrush that isn't overpowering. Because I'm going to work on the face just a touch. This, I feel, can be a little more shaded. And this darkness comes all the way up into here. And this has to feel pretty dark. I want that to be centered. And a lot of them have dark right over the eye, so that's right in here. I want to hit that. Now I'm airbrushing the fur pattern where there isn't even any hair. So just lightly there, nice arch up here in the head. And this stays pretty gray. I have this nice line that happens in these guys, and that line is sometimes happening right along the cheek, so it's coming out again. So it comes out here. There we go, and see that color just comes right back into here. And then this is all, again, pretty white underneath. I'm not going to leave it super white. Sometimes closing the H all the way down and opening it back up will fix a little clog issue that you have. I'm just putting just a hair of color on it. Because this is lighter, great, but I don't want it pure white. And I have to do that on the other side over here. Of course, you always have airbrush problems. My airbrush problem is that I'm out of ink. That's why the airbrushes are working. That's a good problem, though. I don't mind solving that one, so I can always add ink. Yeah, I'm your friend. I'm not your smart friend. So we have a werewolf show coming up at dark hour, okay? And that's going to be each weekend on either side of July 4th. Dark Hour is a haunted house in Plano, Texas. I happen to be the director there. I get to play and I get to make them stuff. I was already kind of going to make this stuff, werewolves. I wanted to do one for my booth at Transworld, but I ended up not being able to just because of time. This really doesn't do anything to the fluffiness of the hair, so that's cool. And just like the other side, I really want this to come kind of as much down to a point as I can get it to do. And I think, I don't have an example of it on any of these guys, but I want to do a little bit of dark in here right under the mouth. Kind of trail that down a little bit. And now it's going to be bringing this to that gray shade that I want. I'm going to leave this ring of white in here to offset the chest. Maybe the one down at the bottom. That's what I'll do. And that means I need to make this a little bit stronger. I'm going to take this out too. So I've got several colors working in there now, and that's all because of the ink that I'm using. And guys, I'm going to get to questions. I'm not going to. I want some of these live videos to function as regular videos on my channel, and to do that, I can't break into it and answer questions kind of the whole time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, hey, live video is over now. Well, the learning part that I just leave up on Facebook is overish now. And then I could say, I'm going to be chatty for a while now. So anybody, if you're tuning in just to watch this lesson, you can get the lesson. But if you're tuning in just to tune in and be a part of the Stilthy Studios community and hang out with the regulars and chat and make fun of Rob when he's in the shop, then that's fine too. Okay, so far I'm kind of in love. This is becoming a nice werewolf with some airbrushing, which is really cool. It's not taking a long time. It's actually not difficult. Well, the thing is, I'm trying to even up both of these sides and make sure that it happens, at the right rate. The fur that I'm not really matching it to this fur, but the rest of the costume is made out of this fur, is here. So you can see I've already gotten it close-ish, but this one I'm airbrushing in this manner because I've never done it before, and I wanted to. Go. I'm sharpening the sculpt is what I'm really doing. Okay, and that little just darkness in the corner of the eye I think helps a little. Let's see. I'm looking at these visual references, and there's stuff that I'm just not going to have because of we go. There's stuff I'm not going to have because mine is a werewolf sculpture, not a wolf mask. But I love this steely gray that's in here now. I think this is a little too white, so I'm going to pull it back just a hair. And I'm using angles here to define this shape. You know, I want to define these shapes in the mask. I'm not afraid of the color that's happening. It seems to be very controllable with the airbrush. Now I'm using a single action airbrush, a Paasche H. It's my preferred airbrush. I use it like a double action. I use it a lot. So there you go. And I think I'm going to use dark lines to define these white shapes. There we go. That brings a little bit more attention to that shape on the side. I'll do the same over here. You guys can see that. So, you know, that is still a nice soft shape, but it's defined by a darker, more striking line. Okay. Now what's happening up here? Up here, there do seem to be darkness that happens in here. A little lighter above and a little lighter below. But that's actually pretty dark. And I'm going to darken up that, but not kill it. Okay. I'll have this nice white separation here on the chest and shoulders. Let me, I did not finish up the back of the head. I think the sides could use some attention here. Again, I'm just airbrushing. Because you're atomizing it, it's almost dry as it comes out. It's very tiny particles of ink. And then they're riding the air to get there on, you know, with air as a carrier. So that actually does dry it out pretty fast. I'm not really, everything on my hand is what I airbrushed on my hand. I am going to do a real dark stripe down the center of his back because I think that'll look cool. That's why. Yeah, when I go that dark, I can get a little on my hand, but not normally. Let me spin so you guys can see what I'm doing. See that dark stripe that I did? And all in here just gets a nice gray. And I haven't touched the back of the ears yet. What I think I'll do, let me look at their ears. Not what I think I'll do. They have a nice dark in the center. There's a center stripe almost of dark inside of most of these ears. Would never have done that. I sprayed pink in my frickin' ears. It makes it look like a bunny. But on most monster masks, you put a little pink in there, and it looks more alive. And that's why I do that. So, but I feel good about that gray. I like that. Let me work on these ears a little bit. And actually, to do that, I'm going to take him off of this box. I wanted him a little bit higher. No, I don't think I need that. That's looking kind of sexy, if I say so myself. This guy right here. Now, he looks a little weird with those white ears. And they definitely need to be darkened according to every single thing that I'm seeing. dark stripe in the center. Most of them have that. And then if I hit this from dark from the back side, put in a little gray. Boy, I like having that little bit of white tufting in there. That's nice. This is a great technique. I'm very happy with this, and this is not something that I've done a lot of. I've done a little bit of it on my Krampus costume. I'll airbrush the fur, and I'm out of makeup again. Not makeup, I'm out of FW acrylic ink. I'm not putting. Don't put paint on people, don't put makeup on masks. That's how that works. Be kind to both of them. Okay. If I hit this outside edge, on the inside of the ear, which is what I'm seeing over there. Okay, so let's take a look at that, see how we do. All right, so let's look at this. I'm going to take a second, back you guys up. This looks manicured. This looks like I did it on purpose. It doesn't look like I bought fur and slapped it on there, which I'm very happy with. I'm actually going to put another V in right here of color. I don't see that on any of the examples, but it's my werewolf. I can do what I want. This guy does feel a little more stately, which I like. There we go. I like that. Yeah, see, that was a little bit too much of a field of white there. So now it has a good feeling to it, in my opinion. All right. So pick it up again. I'll show it to you again. And I didn't see that. I didn't see that with my eye. I saw it in the camera. So it's important to get a lot of viewpoints, as many as you can. What do you guys think? That is and I left the white ring around the bottom on purpose, because I wanted to kind of just separate the head and make it feel different. I think it made him a much more werewolf and less rabbit look than he had when we started. I think it matches up with the other fur pretty well, as far as that's going to be under that. I think that's fine. That looks good. All right, so gang, that is, I can edit this video and kind of stop it here, but now I'm going to go back and look at all the comments. If you just showed up to see this technique, you saw it. I used FW acrylic inks. I happen to use a Paasche H airbrush. Any dual action airbrush will do. It sticks fine and stays fine to this fur. This is the pretty cheap synthetic fur from, I know you can buy it at Joanne's, but that's werewolf airbrushing for fur. So I'm very happy with that technique, and you'll probably see more of it from me in the future. Now, let's get to the comments. Oma, another Scott, Harry Beastie. Forbes is on. Hi. Thank you, Psycho Axeman. I think it is looking kind of badass. I'm very happy with that look, with the new airbrush look that I did. This side's a little muddier than this side, but that's okay. See that like big spot of white? I'm actually going to tone this side down. There we go. That fixed it. That's better. It's still more white on this side, but it's not as bad. All right, and see, that stuff I see in the camera. I didn't really see it with my eye. But anyway, let's get back to comments. I could add white highlights, but I'm not going to. Yes, they have a much more white muzzle, but this is a werewolf. Everything here is a picture of a wolf, and I wanted that hair pattern of it. But I also want enough flesh showing through so you know it's a man. It's a werewolf. It's part man and part wolf. I want a mix. So I probably won't do too much. I did darken this top of the muzzle because that's what happens in a lot of the pictures, of a wolf. So I did do that, but I want to keep that flesh tone. I too like the defining black stripes. The fur that I use is just cheap Hobby Lobby white fur. I went and bought it today, but not Hobby Lobby, Joanne's Fabrics. It's $30 a yard fur. I didn't have any white. I don't need a roll of it, so I just went and I bought 2 yards of white, and that's what you see on this guy right now. Hello from Tennessee. What's wrong with my airbrush? It's spraying a double line and spatters after only a few seconds of use. Odds are really good if there's a metal cone that is, right over your needle and you screw the cone down on it. And it's very easy to crack those cones when you're putting the needle in and out or trying to clean out a clog. Those get cracked, so you might need a new cone for your airbrush. Or you could just need to clean it. And I recommend carburetor cleaner, only a few seconds of use. What are you running through it? And how often do you clean it? How often do you break it down? Try running some soda through it, like Coke or Pepsi or whatever, because the acid in that does help clean up the airbrush a little bit, especially if you're using acrylics. But if you are, if you're, doing any kind of heavy stuff, I use carburetor cleaner. I use carburetor cleaner on my airbrushes all the time, the spray stuff. I've got a can right here. Carburetor cleaner. It's the stuff that you spray into your car's carburetor, back when cars had carburetors, but they still sell this stuff, because it is meant to get sticky gunk off of fiddly bits of metal. Cleaning an airbrush, you're trying to get sticky gunk off of fiddly bits of metal. That's why I started using it. After you clean your airbrush with it, run water through it, because the carburetor cleaner will attack the O-rings a little bit. My airbrushes don't have O-rings, so I don't do that. But if you're using like an Iwata Eclipse or something, make sure you run water through it, get that carburetor cleaner out of there, because that'll eat your O-rings over time, not right away. I'm reading comments. That's the weird face. Look on my face. Derry City, North Ireland. Time is 1:10 a.m. You're staying up late to hang out with us. But some more edited videos from me, but you'll see more of this, I'm afraid. I'm always amazed at the international audience that we have at Still Beast. Looking good. I like the defining black stripes. I like them too. Thank you, Scott Coldheart. He's a regular. I want to thank you for helping me to do corpsing on a cheap skeleton, but it looks, you know what? Plastic corpsing it'll help almost anything. I have plastic corpsed almost whole sets before. Table didn't look cool. I mean, we did a kitchen set and there just wasn't enough life to it. So I took spray adhesive and I covered everything in saran wrap. Just one layer of saran wrap over almost everything in the kitchen. And then I came back, I hit it with a heat gun, painted it all black and dry brushed it. Beautiful. It gave a lot of personality to the set. But you can plastic corpse anything. It's not just for skeletons. I could probably put items in the description for this video. That's no problem. It's actually super easy. I can do a link to Joanne's and a link to the Paasche airbrush, and I can do a link to FW inks, because that's all that I used for this. This one's easy. Sometimes it's like, oh, that's tough. Yes, I have gotten commissions from furry clients before, both now and in the old furry group, which was, furries have a connotation from what furries used to be. Furries now are very different. You know, just like teenagers now are different. They act differently. Thank you. I'm glad you liked the mask, Chris. Hello, Dr. Mac. I made a bunch of props from your instructions. Thank you, Rick. I'm glad. I use a dab of WD-40. Okay. Is that for the airbrush? Thank you. I'm glad you like my werewolf, and you call it a Fulda Konreicht. Konreicht? Fulad Konreicht. I'm screwing that up. But thank you. I appreciate that. I actually did a Ku Sith, which is like a fairy hound type of creature, which is also from Ireland. And that's actually on my video. It's a big green, like, dog head thing. That's on my intro video. But anyway, all right, guys. So that is a werewolf mask that is, I'd say, 99% done. I'm going to go ahead and take some, this is a product called Snakeskin, which is a gloss, because I have to gloss him. And I should have a pin over here somewhere. Why a pin? Because I have to pokey something. Okay, it's over here. All right, so this is a product called Snakeskin from Douglas and Sturgis, which is a part urethane, which I use as a gloss. I also use Plastidip glossifier from a spray can, but I started using this snakeskin because I actually made a big snake, and it needed something a little more flexible than the Plastidip glossifier. And these airbrush bottles, this is a different kind of airbrush. This is a Black Harbor Freight airbrush. I use it a lot, and it's just going to help me gloss up. You have to gloss the nose, and this mouth opens. All right, there we go. Now that is a werewolf that I'll call done. Quick video for now. I'm going to be back on later, but thank you guys for watching this. You are awesome, and I will talk at you guys later. But so I wanted to do a one-shot video that was just this process. Did it, knocked it out, it's over. Okay, thanks, bye. And before I leave, go make stuff, guys. Don't just watch me, make stuff.